This is an ergonomic mechanical split keyboard, and even though it might look strange at first, its design is brilliant. It makes typing so natural that even if you got one only for comfort, you're still probably gonna end up typing faster too. It's so great in fact that I've restructured my whole workflow around it. But to understand why, we need to rewind a little bit. A year ago, I realized I wasn't typing very fast, which is kind of ridiculous. I've been using a keyboard for over 15 years, and as a developer, typing is one of the main aspects of my job. So I decided it was time for me to change that. And going into this, I already knew the obvious way to improve my typing speed. Touch typing. For those who don't know, that's a typing technique that requires all your fingers to type with and keep your hands centered on the keyboard to minimize movement. It's by far the most efficient way to type. With practice, you can easily double your typing speed and with enough of it, go even further. For context, people type around 40 words per minute. And if you're a programmer or someone that types a lot like me, it's probably a bit higher, around 70 words per minute. But with touch typing and some practice, people go as high as 200 words per minute. That's around 10 key presses per second. But there's a catch. The posture you're locked into isn't very friendly for your body. When you touch type on a regular keyboard, your wrists are bent outward, your shoulder and spine is rounded forward, your forearm is twisted, and without a wrist rest, your wrist bend upwards too. This makes this posture awkward, tiring, and can even lead to long-term injuries. You can try it now. Just put your fingers on the home row like this and see how it feels. Not very comfortable, isn't it? The thing is that people push through as the efficiency gain is worth the discomfort, but for me, comfort is too important. And that's where I discovered there is a way to have both, speed and comfort. And that's the keyboard I showed you earlier. Ergonomic keyboards are designed to maximize comfort and efficiency. The idea is to position the key where your fingers are naturally so it requires less movement to press them, making it faster and easier. What makes touch typing comfortable on this type of keyboard is the split design. By cutting the keyboard in half, each side sits right in front of its hand, removing that wristband. You can also separate them to open the shoulder and straighten your spine. And the gap in the middle it created is incredibly practical. Great for keeping a notebook there, a laptop, a cup of tea, or even a cat. Then you can tilt each half to match your hand's natural angle, so your forearm aren't twisted anymore. And use a wrist rest or hover while typing to keep your wrist level or slightly higher than the keys instead of bent upward. My keyboard doesn't have built-in legs to tilt it, but since it's a split keyboard, I can use a book to tilt it the way I want. Also, split keyboards are much more compact and easy to carry, which make them ideal to type in any situation, whether you're on a flat desk, in a couch, or in bed. That's why I love split design so much. But if it looks too strange to you, you can get one of these, not as ergonomic but still pretty good, and they look great. With that, we already have comfort and potential for speed. But at higher speed, even small inefficiencies start to slow you down. And small inefficiencies, regular keyboards have quite a few. Take the staggered key row, for example. That design comes from a technical limitation of the first typewriters, 150 years ago. Back then, each key was physically connected to the inner mechanism with a lever. Without the stagger layout, those levers would collide, making it impossible to type certain letters. Today that's irrelevant, but we've kept the stagger simply because people got used to it. Ergonomic keyboard fix this and go further by staggering the columns instead, to match the natural height difference between your fingers. This means your fingers don't have to stretch or curl as much, which makes typing feel smoother and puts far less strain on your pinkies. Everyone's different, so it's not a perfect match, but it still helps a lot. Speaking of pinkies, on a regular keyboard, they handle 21 keys. Meanwhile, the thumb, which are much stronger and more agile, only have one key for both of them. This is extremely inefficient, so ergonomic keyboard instead add a cluster of keys for the thumbs. The number varies, but it's usually at least 2 per thumb and can be as many as 8. And honestly, this is one of the best ergonomic features. Even mainstream keyboards are catching on, splitting the spacebar so each thumb can do more. Thumb keys are great because you can press and hold them very easily without affecting the other fingers. For example, on a regular keyboard, holding shift with my pinky makes my other finger move slightly. where on my keyboard I use my thumb instead and the other finger didn't move at all. This drastically reduces the finger gymnastics needed for shortcut and take pressure off the pinkies. This is a good fix, though it's not the root cause of the problem. The real problem is that the keyboard is too big. On my keyboard, even if the shift key was at the same place, this would be less of a problem because it's physically smaller. It's what's called a 40% keyboard, meaning it has about 40% of the key a regular keyboard would have. This is common for ergonomic keyboard. The idea is to make better use of the existing key instead of stacking more to the side. This massively reduces travel distance or how far your finger moves from the resting position to press a key. It sounds like micro-optimization, but at 200 words per minute, you don't have time to move your whole hand just to press enter or reach the numpad. It's much quicker to press a key already under your fingers. But how is that possible with fewer keys? Well, we do this with a concept you're already familiar with: layers. Think of it like holding Shift plus a number to get a symbol. Except instead of just symbol, you can have an entire new set of keys. On my keyboard, I have two layer keys in the thumb cluster. Hold the right one and all my keys turns into numpad and arrows. Hold the left one and they become symbols. And if I hold both of them at the same time, I get another layer which has media control and function keys. So instead of reaching across the keyboard, I just press a thumb key and suddenly the keys under my finger change role. It's like having multiple keyboards stacked on top of each other. And with that, my 42 key keyboard can have as many as 160 different keys. I know it might sound a bit more complicated, but once you get used to it, it's very simple, especially because the layer keys are in the thumb cluster, and the key I moved into layers are the ones I used less often anyway. All of these features make touch typing go from a weird thing to do to being natural. But there is more about this keyboard. It's not just about ergonomic. It's also a mechanical keyboard. I didn't care about that at first, but it made building it much easier, and now I love it because it's durable and repairable. If something breaks, I can easily replace that part in a matter of seconds, and it's cheaper than buying a whole new keyboard and better for the environment. It's also fully programmable. I can make any key do whatever I want. Shortcut, macros, text snippets, launches apps, everything. I can even set different action for when I type versus when I hold the key. You can really do anything. And finally, it's customizable. You can make it look as sleek, bold, or weird as you want. I personally went for a very nerdy, transparent tech look with colorful dots on the keycap, which also stopped me from looking down. But you can swap everything, the case, the switch, the caps, to match your own personal style. These keyboards are awesome. I won't go into dev detail, but because of this, I've restructured how I work to use my keyboard more by memorizing shortcuts, but also change some of the software I used to use to other that rely more on the keyboard like Vim and Hyperland. But of course, if they were perfect, everyone will already have one. The catch? Well, it's their price. Top-of-the-shelf ergonomic mechanical keyboards are expensive, often around 350 euros, mostly because they are niche, made in small quantities, usually built with high-quality, long-lasting material, and are very repairable. Is that worth something that could last you 20 years or more? Well, that's up to you. Personally, I couldn't justify it without knowing if I'd like it or not, so I built my own. But I might make another video about that. If you never tried one, I honestly recommend it. I do need to put more time into it though. I've been busy and was not able to practice as much as I would have liked to. In terms of speed, I've peaked around 80 words per minute, but now I'm more around like 65 to 70 words per minute. But they're truly great, and as more people get into these, price will go down and maybe one day there won't be a catch at all.